Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Arsenal Fanbase Global. It's a new fanbase set up here in Ireland. I'm your host, Luke Hens. Tonight I have two special guests. We have two very passionate Arsenal supporters, long-term life friends as well. So I'm going to start off with introducing our first guest tonight, the one and only Mr. Kyle Walsh. How are you, Kyle?
I'm not too bad, Pat, and yourself?
Great.
It's great to be here. It's just going to be a great thing, I think.
I think we'll have some fun talking about Arsenal history. To the left of me then is my very own blood, my big bro, Mr. Adam Kenny. How you doing, Adam?
Good. Yeah.
Great
Good to be here.
So, I do have a long line of questions for you tonight. I know you're both passionate Arsenal fans.
Sure, okay.
So let's start here. Okay, Arsenal Football Club is a very big club in England. Very big fan base across the world globally. Bit of a roller coaster ride for Arsenal the last couple of years. A lot of passionate fans out there, spreading their emotions, sharing their opinions and their views. So I wanted to kind of get you guys together and hear what your opinions are on Arsenal as a fan, what's going on at Arsenal, etc. So why don't we start off with a little bit of a summary of Arsenal and where it all began for you, and maybe I'll start with you, Kai. So where did it all begin for you as an Arsenal fan? What was your youngest memory as Arsenal? What attracted you to Arsenal?
I remember, I think it was 1987. I was at home with my father. My father was a Liverpool fan all his life. And Arsenal were playing Liverpool. Back in them days, before your time, we were able to watch matches on UTV and things like that. HTV actually it was called.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, they used to show games on a Sunday. I remember on a Sunday, especially on a Sunday, and they used to be show the Italian matches then in the evening time. So it was a great time to grow up watching the soccer. But my dad was a Liverpool fan all his life, and I remember Arsenal were playing Liverpool one Sunday. I was only getting into the game at the time. I was about 9 years of age, almost about 9. But I'd say I was familiar with the game because my dad was watching it all the time. So I asked him one day what's the Arsenal Football Club like. So he gave me a bit of detail about the history of Arsenal, and at that particular time we weren't winning that much. It was all Liverpool, Liverpool, Liverpool. So I actually said to my dad, I'll tell you what I'll do then, Dad, I'll watch the game with you, and whoever wins, I'll start supporting them. And that day Arsenal beat Liverpool 1-0. And
What a memory.
One memory, and that's how I started to support now. I stuck with Arsenal from that day on, and sure, it's 30, 36, about 34, 35 years of a roller coaster ever since.
That just making me feel young. I'm 34.
So that's where it is. That's how it started off for me.
So it's had to be quite a journey.
It's been quite a journey. I followed them every week since. I can tell you that I've watched possibly 90% of the matches over the years.
Wow.
I would always I would take time off work at the time that I was sick on a Saturday afternoon if there was a game.
You're admitting this, no?
I'm admitting this, yeah. I refuse. Yeah, just everything was Arsenal, yeah, and it's still huge to me. Arsenal has been my life, and people ask me sometimes why are you so passionate and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's just something that gained on me back in '87, and we're now in 2020, and my love back then is still the same as it is today, and it's going to continue for the rest of my life. That's just who I am. It's in my blood, it's in my genes. That's it. So.
Very proud, passionate Arsenal.
Very proud, passionate Arsenal fan. I always stand up and I speak the truth about them though. I'm a realist. I'm not one of these delusional fans either that tell you that this and that. I tell you how it is. And when it was good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. There's no in between with me. So it's going to be interesting to give my opinions, and we talk about it as the channel goes on. So we'll see what happens here.
I think that's a fair analogy, to be honest. I myself have something to confess. I'm also a very passionate Arsenal fan. I was hoping that I wouldn't admit it here now, but listening to you kind of, sharing kind of the same passion, the love for the club. I myself grew up in an Arsenal kind of household. A lot of highs and lows, but Adam, I wanted to kind of get your view on Arsenal, where it began for you, I suppose. I know we grew up in the same house, but You know, what was it that attracted you to support Arsenal Football Club?
But I go as far as saying I had no choice really. My earliest memory now would be we were on holidays in Rosslare. Do you remember that? Down in Rosslare,
Vaguely.
1997, I think.
You're
Night
talking
Bergkamp
about-
scored his hat-trick against Leicester.
Yeah.
And I just remember watching the highlights that night on our holidays. Now, I would have already been a fan, but you know, I wasn't aware what was going on. I was very young, like.
But that kind of took you up
And
there.
that's what, yeah, got me into it. Players like Bergkamp, watching him, I just was more, you know, he kind of drew me towards him. I just loved the style of football, and
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know, he made me love Arsenal even more, like. But I didn't have a choice really in becoming a fan. You were, my dad was, and you know, my mum every now and then. And Trina was the odd sheep. With the
Yeah.
Man United.
And tell me this, was that time when Bergkamp scored a hat-trick against Leicester, that was the night that
It's
You
my
say
earliest
that's
memory
it.
anyway.
Your
Yeah.
earliest memory.
Yeah.
Jesus, that makes me feel good odd.
That's a good memory though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Bergkamp was there. Like, you know, I tell you, for me, it actually goes right back to 1995. Cup winners, cup semi-final, Sampdoria.
Yeah,
I
Lombardo.
remember we had like this small portable TV in Mum and Dad's bedroom upstairs. I remember watching the highlights, and I distinctly remember Seaman getting lobbed. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Outside the
That
box,
was-
just outside the box, he got lobbed outside the box, and it ended up that we had to go to penalties,
yeah.
and it was 5-5. It was actually 5-5 on aggregate, but I think, if I remember correctly, we won actually. I think against Sampdoria.
We won against Sampdoria, right? What happened
Yeah.
was Lombardo missed the penalty.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Seaman
Seaman
saved
saved.
the penalty.
Saved 2 penalties, didn't he?
Yeah, I saved 2, but Lombardo I think was a vital one, and he saved that one. And we went on and we played Real Zaragoza.
Now I don't remember that.
And the Spurs, an ex-Spurs player for Real Zaragoza, in the last minute, got the ball about 65 yards out and lobbed the outside.
Maybe that.
That's the lob you're thinking about.
Maybe,
That was
no,
the lob,
isn't it?
And
that was a
what-
1-0. That was a 1-0 defeat, wasn't it?
that put us out the cup, but that was in
No,
the.
it was
I
definitely
think that was
semis.
the yeah.
Semis. He got
yeah.
lobbed off his line. in the
Lobbed
semis,
off the line,
right?
about 65 yards out. I can't think at the moment. I can't think the Spurs player, but we had to play with Spurs the year before, and it was Real Zaragoza. I don't even think they're in existence anymore. But he scored a 65-yard lobber on David Seaman. I'll never forget it because I broke a wooden chair up in the city.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, what do we think of Spurs anyway? You know.
Nah, sure.
Shit.
We won't
I
even
wouldn't give an
talk-
answer
we
to
don't
that.
even talk about Spurs at this time.
Um,
But no, that's 95 was your earliest time, Pat.
95. Yeah, same as Adam. Grew up in the household of Arsenal. Didn't really understand it, to be honest with you, because Aaron Mercer, my granddad was a Man United fan. I think it was 2-2-2 in that family actually. There was 2 Liverpool fans, 2 United fans, and 2 Arsenal fans. And Dad was an Arsenal fan. John was an Arsenal fan too. So I think you just kind of, you know, when you're that young, you kind of you follow in your father's kind of footsteps.
Yeah.
Except we both did. I think Kat, Katrina, our sister, kind of followed more or less kind of Billy and my granddad. They were United,
Yeah.
you know. And then obviously the whole growing up in '95, you know, we had the street leagues. Remember we had
Yeah.
all those games in Stanley
Yeah.
View, Father Murphy, and our localised kind of, you know, games across the town and stuff. But for me, I just loved Arsenal Football Club. I got my first long sleeve Arsenal jersey. I think we still have it actually. JVC.
Yeah, Jeffrey said that.
And it was a long sleeve, and I think it was like 10 sizes too big for me. And we bought it actually in a place called Alfie Hills down in Watford.
Alright.
And it was the only place that used to, print the names on the back.
Alright.
Now, for anyone who's listening, they probably didn't understand what it was like to grow up in Ireland back then. We had, very little when it came to that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
franchise and stuff. So I think we've kind of come along a long way from that. But let me ask you about this question. Your most favourite Arsenal memory, and why? Let me start with Adam on this one. Your most favourite Arsenal memory.
That's a hard one. So it's easy to say the Invincibles you know, it's easy to say that, but jeez, I actually can't. I can't think my favourite one.
Let me park that then.
Yeah, come back to me.
Let's park that for a second. Kyle, I know you're going to have a whole bundle of. Give me your top 10.
I'll give you a top 20. But no, number one for me outright is Anfield. 1989.
One league.
Title.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas.
That's right.
In the last minute, that was definitely my number one favourite memory.
Fever Pitch, the film. You'll see it.
Oh,
It's the
yeah, I
game
know.
at Fever Pitch.
I remember that particular. I remember the build up to that. That whole, like, I could sit here and talk for hours about that whole era. My favourite Arsenal player at the time was David Rocastle.
Oh yeah.
He's still, Lord mercy on him, still a legend in my opinion. He made my top Arsenal team, no problem. He walked right into it. But Rocastle was a sensational player, and Tony Adams was the captain, and George Graham obviously was the manager, and Alan Smith, both Lee Dixon, Winterburn, they were all there.
That's right. Yeah.
Luke
Adams
John
was
Lukic
young.
was the goalkeeper.
Steve Ball, Lukic.
Steve
Yeah.
Ball. But it was a great time because Liverpool were just, nobody could touch Liverpool at that particular time. But for some strange reason, Arsenal kept on plugging out little wins here and there, nothing spectacular. Nobody was really even talking about much. But we're winning 1-0 here, 1-0 there. Liverpool were beating teams 6-7-0.
Like what they're doing now.
Like they're done
Yeah.
now. There was more the flow, the football Liverpool were playing at that particular time, since and the players that they had.
Well, just for the audience,
Yeah.
cut across you, right? But right now, Liverpool are actually drawn 3-3 with Leeds. We have it here in the background. It's on mute. Is that the Liverpool that were back in the 80s, do you think?
I'd actually go to Liverpool back in the 80s were a better team than that Liverpool team.
Yeah, I think they were definitely tougher.
Oh, there was Kenny Dalglish. No, Kenny Dalglish was the manager at the time of this particular time I'm talking about, but they had some player. John Barnes, genius.
Ian Rush.
Ian Rush.
Yeah.
They had Alan Hansen, Steve
But
McMahon,
they always had the good.
Bruce Gobler in
Yeah.
goal.
Oh,
Oh,
Gobler.
yes, that was some team. And as I said, we're just destroying teams. But as I said, we kept on plugging away that season. I think George Graham built the Arsenal team up as to say, lads, a goal is important, but defending, keeping a clean sheet is even as important. And we had some backline, brilliant backline, and we all played really, well that season. And then obviously we had the Hillsborough disaster, tragic story. It affected the Liverpool players. Kenny Dalglish went to all the funerals. I know from a documentary I've seen recently the amount of work that Dalglish and the players did for Liverpool back then that nobody knew about. It was frightening. But they went back into it and they played well again, started winning games again. And then it came down to it that Arsenal somehow got to the last game of the season to go to Anfield to beat Liverpool 2-0. Had to win by 2 goals, end of story.
That's right, yeah.
And the build up to that was just unbelievable. Because nobody gave us a chance. Nobody gave us a chance. And my father definitely didn't give us a chance, as being a Liverpool fan himself. But I remember that day, getting up that morning, the excitement, I was just physically sick, like. And it came to us. And my dad was after making a big dessert, and I remember having the bowl of dessert on my lap. And we were winning 1-0 at the time. And there was a few minutes to go. And I just looked over at my dad and I said to my dad, typical. Not going to do it, this is it. And I was up and I was outside. I remember walking down my driveway, standing at the front gate, and I just looking around me, tears in my eyes, coming back up, still 1-0, Dad saying we have it. And then I walked in and I saw Alan Hansen turn to Steve McMahon and he put the finger up and he said, 1 minute to go, we have this. And I sat down on the seat and I picked up the ball. I had about half a dessert left and I put my lap and I was just down and out. And then I just remember John Lukic getting the ball and throwing it out to Dixon lumping it down.
In extra time, wasn't it?
There was only a minute to go.
Yeah.
And Alan Smith, it was in injury time, Alan Smith just flicked it on. And it fell to Michael Thomas.
Bang.
Out of all the players on the field, why Michael Thomas? Because he was a bang average player. And the little deflection went through Alan Hansen, Steve McMahon, and I remember Gobbler coming sliding out, and I remember screaming at the television, hit the ball, and it felt like an hour, and he just dinked it over Gobbler. The ball at the start hit the ceiling, and I just remember falling onto my knees and just
That's
crying my eyes out, and I
Yeah.
literally, I must have cried for an hour. I just couldn't believe what was happening. And my father just stumped in his chair. It was
Season.
unbelievable. The problem, the one thing I will say about that, when I was in school, I think I was the only Arsenal fan in school. Most of my friends weren't Arsenal fans. So I had to kind of celebrate that moment on my own, where I wish I had 3 or 4 friends to have celebrated with. It would have made it all that much better.
Yeah.
But that is the number one memory for me. Anfield 89, it does not get any better than that.
89, I think it was 3. Yeah, it was
I
just
weren't
that.
even a thought.
Yeah, you were still in the pipes. As I said.
It was a great night in Arsenal's history. Because it was so long before that since we won the league title. Like, you know, I think it was 18 years before that since we last won the league title. I think it was 71 we won the
70,
title.
yeah.
We won the
70,
double.
71, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or was it
71.
72?
70, 71.
Well, your memory now will be better than
Yeah,
mine.
70, 71. And as I said to you, Fever Pitch. Yeah, if you're out there and
Colin
you're
Firth.
listening to this, definitely check, if you're an Arsenal fan, check out Fever Pitch. Great little movie.
Great love story.
Yeah, great
With man and club.
Two halves.
His emotions in that at the end
Yeah,
is just every Arsenal fan.
yeah,
I completely agree with that.
Every
yeah.
Arsenal fan.
It was
Completely.
unbelievable. It really was
It's-
unbelievable.
Would it be fair to say, as you know, as an Arsenal fan, that when you go for a few pints or whatever, and you all watch a game with your United fans or whatever, do you think that they share the same connection with their club as Arsenal fans, or do you think it's different, or do you think it's